Hey, before we dive in, a quick heads up. This series is called Validating the BPD Life, and that's exactly what it's here to do. Validate the experience of living with borderline personality disorder, hopefully making you feel a little less alone. That said, if you don't have BPD, there's still value here, especially if you've loved or currently love someone who does. But fair warning, we'll be talking about some heavy stuff. Self-harm, self-destructive behavior, hospitalizations, and a lot of emotional pain. You might feel grief, guilt, anger, rage, shame, or confusion while watching. And if you do, that makes sense. Don't judge yourself for feeling anything. Don't shame yourself for being triggered. Emotions show up for a reason, even if you don't know that reason right away. If it helps, try saying, "It makes sense I'd feel this way after everything I've been through." And if you've ever been hospitalized or felt like you were losing your mind, I wrote a book about my own experience at a psych ward, and you can grab it at the link right here. Or here. To be honest, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, so I'm just going to say grab it. It supports the work I do and might help you feel a little less lonely on this journey. All right, without further delay and nothing more to say, buckle up, Buttercup. It is time to walk the middle path towards common humanity and a wise mind. There were times when suicidality felt like the only way out. When the pain became too much and the world felt too heavy to carry, the thoughts of escape, of ending it all, became constant. The overwhelming sadness, the emotional numbness, the belief that things would never get better. Those thoughts didn't feel like thoughts anymore. They felt like an inevitability. And the pain, as deep as it was, wasn't the whole story. Suicidal thoughts are often a symptom of the unbearable emotional pain we carry. And for me, it was a reflection of not knowing how to cope with the intensity of my feelings, particularly with BPD. It wasn't that I wanted to die, it was that I didn't know how to live with myself, with the hurt, and with the overwhelming sense that I'd never be able to find peace. What I've learned through DBT is that suicidal thoughts are not a reflection of your inherent worth. They are a signal that the pain has reached a point where coping feels impossible. And those thoughts don't have to control us. They do not define us. DBT skills like radical acceptance taught me to look at these thoughts with awareness, not judgment, and recognize them as temporary. When I feel them creeping in, I take a step back and breathe. I don't have to act on them. Mindfulness of the present moment, learning how to sit with the discomfort without letting it define me, has been crucial. And the most important thing I've learned is this: survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about learning how to make a life worth living. I'm not where I want to be yet, and I still have days where the darkness feels overwhelming. Now, though, staying alive isn't only about enduring. It's about finding a way to thrive. And for me, that begins with values-based living, aligning my life with what matters to me, despite the pain. There was a time when I didn't know if I could keep going. The thought of just waking up and surviving the day felt like an insurmountable task. Then, something shifted when I realized that staying alive wasn't only about enduring, it was about finding a reason to keep going. Even when everything felt broken, when my emotions were too intense and I felt like I was losing control, there was still a part of me that wanted something more. DBT's emphasis on values-based living has been a game changer in how I view staying alive. Values-based living means living in alignment with what I truly care about, what really matters to me. And for me, connection, authenticity, and growth are some of the values that keep me moving forward, even when things feel unbearable. In the darkest moments, I remind myself, what is the life I want to live? Even if I don't have all the answers, staying alive means I can continue to work toward those values. Every small step, even when it feels like it's not enough, is still a step toward creating a life worth living. I also needed to learn that I don't have to be perfect in this process. Staying alive doesn't mean doing everything right. It means keeping one foot in front of the other, even when I don't have all the answers. It's about showing up for myself, even on days when that feels impossible. When life feels chaotic and painful, it's easy to wonder if there's any meaning to it at all. BPD has a way of distorting reality, making everything feel urgent and intense. Through it all, I've learned that meaning isn't something we find outside of ourselves. It's something we create, something we make through our actions, our relationships, and the way we live each day. Through DBT, I've learned the importance of meaning making. It's about looking for purpose in the pain and finding value in the struggle. When everything feels uncertain, when I feel lost, I turn to my values. What matters most to me? And let that guide me. Whether it's being there for the people I love, pursuing creative expression, or working towards personal growth. Those values become my anchors when the storm rages around me. And creating meaning isn't only about grand, life-altering moments. It's about small acts of intention, deciding to live in alignment with my core values even when it feels like the world is crumbling around me. It's about choosing to make meaning in the small, everyday moments. I've learned that every step I take toward living authentically is an act of meaning making. As someone with BPD, I often feel like my emotional world is a tempest. And through meaning making and values-based living, I can take those intense emotions and channel them into something purposeful. It does not mean the pain goes away, and it gives me a reason to keep going, a reason to fight for the life I want to create, not only survive, but truly thrive. When I first started my DBT journey, I thought survival was all I could hope for. I was just trying to stay alive. The more I practiced DBT, the more I began to realize I wasn't just surviving, I was learning how to thrive. And thriving isn't about everything being perfect. It's about aligning with your values, creating meaning in your life, and moving forward, even when it feels impossible. Suicidal thoughts, intense emotions, and the struggle to stay alive are not signs of weakness or failure. They are signals that we need to make changes in our lives to align with what truly matters to us. You are worthy of that change, that healing, and that growth. And DBT has given me the tools to keep moving forward, to keep finding meaning, even in the darkest times. So if you're struggling, know that you are not alone. You don't have to face this alone, and you don't have to face it without a way forward. I am still working on it every day, and I believe I can create a life worth living, one step at a time, with compassion, with self-kindness, and with practicing the skills. And if I can do it, I believe you can too.